Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. A bit of insight into how this game session was put together. Our game master, Jeff Wilkins, felt that it would be a little too revealing if he told us the title beforehand. Sometimes part of the plot is given away in the title. I encourage my GMs to change the title if necessary. But as we are playing, we are clueless. You, however, can see the title right there. That artwork was added in post-production after we finished the scenario. After we're going to finish the scenario in the future. All I can tell you is that this scenario was written by Brett Kramer, and that it is set in June of 2017, and that it is part of Delta Green. So without further delay, the players are ready. Let's begin our journey into the darkness. Jeff.
Thanks, Tom. So we left off the last episode with you guys rather successfully talking your way into a UFO investigation group known as Saucer Watch. They basically agreed they could use your help searching for what might be a UFO. I'd like to kind of I want to still be set scene, still in the diner. You guys are finishing up lunch. Let's just talk a little bit about how, so Anton, he's going to turn to you and say, so I'm really glad you guys could join us tomorrow.
Cool.
I think we're going to try to get an early start. Well, not too early, but let's say like around 8 o'clock in the morning.
Sure. That sounds awesome.
That sounds good to me.
Are you guys able to meet us there, or do you want to? We could just leave from the hotel. We're right across the street.
We could always meet for breakfast and then go from there. Kind of come up with a game plan tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we're staying at the hotel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We could eat breakfast and then just go right from breakfast.
Yep.
That'd be good.
Chemist, give me an alertness roll, please.
Okay, give me a second here. I will get it. Just a second. I pass.
You catch out of the corner of your eye that Connie is kind of giving you a little flirtatious batting of the eyelashes.
Okay, and I smile at her.
Are you saying they're having chemistry?
All right.
All right, we'll let that one go.
Roll 1d6 pun damage.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
6.
So you guys, shake hands, everybody, and you can all go your own way. It's up to you guys. If you want to do anything, we can, or we can just skip ahead to the next morning.
Do we want to maybe go back to our rooms and talk about how we want to handle tomorrow? Because it's one thing. It's one thing when we're with them, but it's another thing when we're amongst ourselves. And I think we need to maybe have some cues or plan Bs or contingencies if something goes south. I think it just behooves us, the three of us, to get on the same page and have a plan. I think I think that's the smart thing to do.
Let's go back to our rooms and discuss it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a smart idea.
All right. So can we say we've gone back to our rooms then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can meet in one of the rooms.
So what do you think could happen? Oh, well, let's say the worst possible thing. let's say there's an alien monster there that's eating everybody. What I think that it's probably a good thing that we're there, because at that point our guns come out and we start fighting it, whatever it is.
While you're shooting, I use the burner phone to call Agent Judith, call in reinforcements, and then I don't think it's necessary for us to be heroes, but I think that, if the worst scenario, and, we do have first contact, that we do exactly as we're ordered, and we call, and then move to a safe position, a safe distance.
Well, we need to move them to a safe distance, absolutely. And actually, the most important part of that is to make sure that we get the call out to Judith.
Right, but don't lose sight of the first contact.
Our job is to protect the world and the United States and the people in it from anything that does any hostile. Obviously, if it's not a hostile, then
I can't remember.
The next thing on the list.
I can't remember. We have GPS, right?
Yes, we do. We have a secondary GPS unit. Yeah.
Because that would be a good thing to do, is if we do see it, give the coordinates of
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's very likely, at least in my opinion, that we're already being tracked by DG. They're probably exactly where we are.
It's probably a very good assumption. I think that's one you should always operate on when working with them.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what happens. What we try to do is get the information out to DG as soon as we can, at the first sign of any danger. And we try to protect the civilians and get them away from there. And that's the worst case scenario. If it was not a hostile, if it was something else, maybe an artifact or let's say a portal to another dimension or something like that came up, then I think that we need to pretend in some way to get them to leave, even if we have to take them with us.
Because we could always circle back.
We can always go back, right? And we can also, and of course, we also have to contact Judith for something like that.
Well, one of us can, since I have the phone and the GPS, I could always have to go see a man about a horse and, go behind a tree, make a quick call, text the coordinates of where we are, and then come back and, zip myself up, so to speak, and then no one's the wiser.
I think only in the case of extreme danger should we reveal that we are agents of some sort.
Agreed.
And we still shouldn't mention Delta Green. I mean,
no. We are UFO enthusiasts. Period. As far as the townspeople are concerned, and as far as these 4 people are concerned. Period.
Of course, it's also possible that one or more of them might show extreme valor, in which case we can report that to DG also, and perhaps we'll find ourselves a new agent in the process. But what else could happen? We could get there and there's nothing.
Right.
In which case we're just going to pretend all day long that did we, I don't remember yesterday if we gave them names.
I was just getting ready to ask you that. I'm going to go under the assumption that you did not give them your real names.
No.
But did we give them?
Were we given, I would just give them the name on the fake driver's license and Fish and Wildlife ID, whatever that name was. We just memorized that, and that's the names that they're given.
Good. That's the assumption I was going under.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a fake name. I have to look it up, but I gave them that one.
Well, it's whatever was on the ID. Yeah.
The one that's on your ID or a different one?
Whatever the one's on. The one's on my ID, which...
Yeah, they gave us in the duffel bag.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jonathan Hardpickle. That's just
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yeah, Engelbert. All right. Are there any other contingencies that might happen?
So I think we've basically covered the extreme end of the spectrum. We go there and it's nothing, and we go there and all hell breaks loose. So that kind of leaves the gray area in the middle, and I think we're all experienced enough agents to kind of lay it as it plays or play it as it lays and go from there. I think as long as we're all on the same page when it comes to the extremes of the situation, I think we're going to be okay going in, because we can always draw one or the other to the side and have a quick confab and then go back to the group.
Should we have a code word if things are going really badly? How about Antwerp?
Yeah.
Just work that into a sentence.
Work that into the conversation. Only in Trivial Pursuit. But
no, seriously. God, I wish I was in Antwerp.
I remember my vacation in Antwerp.
Here comes the monster. It's coming at me. God, I wish I was in Antwerp.
Right. Last time I was in prison in Antwerp. Yeah. I mean, I think we're all experienced. Well, you two are experienced enough. I'm not necessarily at your level yet, but I think we're all smart enough to kind of figure this out, unless
I think that we know
it really goes sideways.
All right. So
I'd like to ask a question, but I don't want to lead you into it. So, I'm only asking for information purposes. What sort of equipment that you already have with you are you bringing with you? In other words, I assume you're bringing your weapons, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
But mine's going to be under a jacket. I don't think
nothing's going to be.
I don't know what the open carry law is in California, but my assumption is that we're all going to, again, we're UFO enthusiasts, so I think we need to keep the weapons to a minimum and keep them small and keep them hidden.
We work above the law. So, yes, I have small weapon in hidden.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring your computer gear?
I do. My assumption here, as much as I love my laptop and I sleep with it at night or whatever, but I'm not really sure there's going to be a Wi-Fi signal out in BFE Northern California.
Very likely not.
Right. Unless I could use now this burner phone, is it a sat phone? It's just like a track phone type of burner, and it's only got one number in it. So, the only thing I could possibly do is, depending on how the phone is configured, if it has service, I could turn it into a hotspot. I'll bring it. I'll bring the laptop. I can possibly turn the track phone into a hotspot and use that, to get some sort of message out, or to send some sort of message, or, do some sort of reconnaissance or whatever we need the laptop for. But it'll just be innocuous in the back seat of the Jeep, under some duffel bags or sleeping bags or something like that. Because my assumption here also is that we're going to take camping equipment in case overnight is involved.
Well, it'll be in the car.
Yeah.
You can keep some of this stuff in the car.
You can keep 90% of it in the car, to be honest. Yeah.
I also have 2 of my knives, just in case something happens. They're one kind of would be kind of out in the open,
like on your hip or like on your belt.
On the belt, it's survival knife. So I don't think anybody will kind of be.
No, they wouldn't even look twice, to be honest. Yeah, you're okay.
I have, of course, I brought with me a small evidence kit. Because we are looking for something.
That's also 2.
We've got various recording devices. We can take photographs. We can take digital photographs, digital film if we need to. That's just on the phone if we need to.
Because remember, we're also UFO investigators, so it's quite handy that a lot of our DG equipment kind of naturally falls into line with the UFO investigative line.
You can carry your laptop with you. I think that's not unreasonable.
Yeah,
Even if it's not, if you don't have satellite,
you know, digital cameras,
you have
measuring
info on it.
tapes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a testing kit would be good too. You know,
A what kit? I'm sorry.
like a chemical, like chemistry kit.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, you're fine with that. Yeah, that just
And
makes
those
us
things
look more
those things we don't
impressive
really need
to
until we're there.
till we find something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in addition, if none of you have actually noticed, and I don't know how organized the two of you are, but I sort of go like this, and I pull down my shirt, and you can see I'm wearing a Kevlar vest under my clothes.
I show you too.
Cool. Just in case.
I pull my shirt down and show you my tattoo.
Of a Kevlar vest.
Yeah. It just says Kevlar across my pec.
Did either of you do it other than the cell phone? Does anybody have a digital camera?
Well, I have a smartphone.
You do?
Yeah.
You brought your personal one?
Encrypted smartphone, it says in my
Okay.
thing. Although I've got it rigged so that if I hit a button on it or if I send a remote message to it, it'll just erase everything on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also of course I've got a tactical flashlight. That's cool because that would be normal gear for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've also got a pair of handcuffs, but I keep those where nobody can find them. Just whoever knows, sometimes you have to restrain somebody.
Do we have anything as advanced as, like, let's say, night vision goggles or heat sensing or
That would be really
temperature?
clunky.
Yeah. Just asking. I think there's certain things that we don't want to go too far when it comes to equipment because, again, we're just simple UFO hunters.
Normally I carry the earphone thing in the throat microphone, but that I don't think I can get away with.
No.
So
just a simple UFO hunter, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, usually I bring more sophisticated equipment but this is like in the wilderness, so I don't want any of them to be damaged.
I don't imagine that there's going to be that much at this place. It's probably going to be nothing. It's going to be an old weather balloon that's crashed in the trees or something. And but we'll do our job.
Yeah.
I think that we're prepared, don't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to bed and get up and go.
Grab some breakfast and go have some fun.
I think we should get up at 6 o'clock. Because I don't want them leaving before we do.
I don't.
That's true. They may get cold feet or they may want all the glory for themselves. So I think that's a good idea, actually.
They'll come sneaking out of their rooms and go down, and we'll be there like, hello.
Early breakfast? Sure.
We thought you might want an early breakfast. All right.
So I think we can fast forward things.
Okay.
So we'll say, you guys get up on time, or you guys got up early, but they got up on time.
Okay.
You guys meet for breakfast. There's no issues. They're friendly. Everything's going smoothly. And finally, they all, they've got their backpacks. Their gear is actually almost as good as your gear, if not better in some circumstances.
Nice.
They are loaded up with video cameras. They've got digital cameras. They've got film cameras, like, any possible camera type so that nobody could criticize and say, oh, you faked that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow, you got some nice gear there. All I've got is my cell phone. We weren't actually planning on going hunting, hunting for stuff, but cool.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, we act impressed, ooh and ah over it. Guys like gadgets. So I think the more we just kind of put them up on a little bit of a pedestal, the more open that they're going to be. And, the more they will take us into their confidence.
Let them lead.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
All right. And of course, they ask you what gear you have, and we don't have to go through it all again, but you guys tell them the obvious.
We don't tell them that we have guns. But.
Right, exactly.
No, I'll show you yours. You show me mine. Yeah.
Now, they arrived in Bert's Jeep Wrangler, so he's got a 4x4 also.
Okay.
His is a little bit more geared out with the bigger tires, and but I think you guys would have no problems. So the Jeep Wrangler's kind of small, so he's going to offer that you guys follow him.
Yeah, we'll follow.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
And he just he says, the roads are small. I mean, it's not like you're going to get lost or anything. Just keep up and all. So you guys take off. It's actually a beautiful day. The morning has been cool, but with the sun coming up, it's already starting to heat up. You drive.
Go ahead.
You drive for roughly about an hour north, and then you see Bert takes a turn to the right, and it's a dirt fire road. Yes. We didn't mention it, but you guys do have your walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
They are kind of fancy looking, so I'm going to assume that maybe you guys are going to keep those in your backpacks.
No. Yeah, that was more of a note to the fellow agent.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just say for the sake of argument that you guys have like small like day packs, nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
nothing huge,
perfect.
But, so you turn up this dirt road, and it's a small dirt road. Lots of turns and twists as you're going up into the mountains, and it's really like you can't get lost. I mean, it's like every now and then you'll see another dirt road that doesn't look official in any way. It's just maybe some four-wheel guys have come out and had their own trails going back there. But for the most part, the fire road is pretty well, not necessarily, I wouldn't say maintained, but you know what I mean. It's certainly drivable. And eventually you guys get to a spot, and Bert pulls off to the side of the road, and he pulls pretty far off the road so that anybody coming or going would not have any issues of getting around your vehicles. And he pulls over, and the brake lights come on, and they start getting out of the vehicle.
Okay. So we park behind them, but out off the road as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow, where the hell are we?
Yeah, Anton, he's got his own GPS unit, so he's looking at the unit, and he's like, this is our first, I guess you would call it a checkpoint. This is supposedly where you can get to the I don't know, for lack of a better word, the weed farm. I think I called it that before. This is the easiest access point, the closest you can get to it with the vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually check our own GPS and write down the coordinates.
Yep, that's fine. I believe the GPS, you could like just hit a button and it'll
record it. Yep.
Create a checkpoint.
Yep. I'm just going to basically just be collecting breadcrumbs, dropping them on the GPS as we walk, so that we can replay it back if we need to find our way back to the cars.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I also, now that we're out of the cars, well, I'll just say it. So, wow, we are out here in the middle of nowhere. You guys aren't going to murder us or anything, are you?
And there's a lot of like side glances and nervous laughs. And
how did you find out? What are we coming out here for? Have we had that conversation with them maybe already?
I don't think to any degree. We can if you want to.
So what do you guys think is out here? You guys are following the lead. Now that we're out here, you want to share it with us?
Is this a new flap that we haven't heard of?
Well, and Anton's going to step up, and he's going to start talking. Bert's getting all the gear out of the Jeep and stuff. Connie, she's trying to weasel her way close to the chemist there. And Anton starts talking. He's like, yeah, basically, we just got a tip that there might be something out in the woods here that might be a UFO piece or a part or
Really?
an entire ship. We don't know.
We like Roswell. Wow.
Exactly. Right. So
Man, thanks for taking us with you. This is nice. We'll do whatever we can to help you.
We've seen some weird things, but this will be the coolest thing. I mean, even if there's nothing out there, it's still kind of fun.
Well, I was just going to say, don't get your hopes up because, in this business, about 98.8% is absolutely bogus. So people love to call in fake tips just to get their laughs and have us go on these wild goose chases. But
well, I seen something once that I thought was pretty strange. But
yeah, do tell.
Well, I was laying in the woods, looking up in the sky, and just relaxing. And I looked up, and there was a silver ball up above me, maybe looked like 1,000 feet up. And I thought, was it a satellite? Was it an airplane? And for 20 minutes, it didn't move, not an inch. And then all of a sudden, it was gone. And I have no idea to this day what the hell that was.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I felt like it was watching me.
Probably. Did you have any time slip?
I didn't. I think that it was just 20 minutes that I was laying there.
So and of course they start telling their best stories and everything of what they saw. And you guys are not too far from Area 51 too. So they start telling lots of stories about that too.
Area 51. That's way out in the desert.
I thought it was in Nevada. I just kind of make some small talk around there, and
that's like 700 miles from here.
Yeah, but to aircraft, that's only about a few minutes. So with that, Dina, she's like, well, let's all have a group picture, and before we go into the woods, we like to do that for each of our investigations.
Cool.
Do we want to have our picture taken?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
We're nobody.
Okay.
So they set up a little camera on the hood of the car, and a little self-timer thing goes off. Are you guys okay if we put this on our Sarcel Watch website?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Okay, great.
Make sure you list our names correctly.
Yep. All right, you guys start heading off into the woods.
Cool.
Let's let's do a Constitution roll.
Okay.
I don't expect any issues, but I just want to see if anybody gets fatigued.
I got a 2.
Nice.
No, I failed.
What did you get?
Just give me a second. I got it's actually a crit fail.
Okay.
I failed as well, but it's not a critical fail.
Yeah, I got 77 out of 50.
So we'll say that as you're hiking through the woods, you step on a rock, and the rock just gives way, and you just twist your ankle real bad.
Oh, no.
It's one of those, it hurts like hell when it happens, but as you can walk it off. But it's going to be sore.
Careful. Keep your eyes on your feet. Keep your eyes down. Watch where you're walking. There's lots of roots, lots of tripwires. We'll find tripwires when we get up ahead, I'm sure. But it's just watch where you're stepping.
It's just a freaking bad leg that I had.
We're in the mountains, right? So it's
it's a climb.
We're probably on a trail with mountains on one side and cliffs on the other, valleys on the other.
I'm gonna try and find like a stick or something like that. It's like it could be like a walking cane kind of.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Lots of those.
Yep.
It's a good idea to have a stick anyway in case a bear or a mountain
Snake.
lion or a
Sam Squatch.
Sam Squatch shows up. Yeah.
Bert turns around and he looks at you, Agent Ty, and he says, "What do you mean tripwires?"
Well, if we're heading towards have they told us that it's a marijuana place? They've probably said that, haven't they, at this point?
No.
Oh shit.
Well,
I
see,
said, well,
second here.
I said, I just mean, things that you might trip over.
Roots, branches, vines, kudzu, tripwires, things you might trip over.
Give me a.
I won't find any kudzu in this area.
I'm
Not
trying
yet.
to help you, man. Trying to
Another
help
week.
you here.
I know you're good at the human and
Persuade.
persuade. Go ahead and give me a roll, because I think that was a little bit of a bumble.
I got an 82.
Okay.
Can I try to help him? With my persuade.
Give me a rationale for it. What would you say or do to help?
Well, what I just said, he was saying things that we trip over, and I started listing the things that we could trip over, like a root, an exposed branch, something on the ground, a vine, anything like that. I was just trying to help Agent Ty along with his metaphor to kind of cover up the use of such a specific word as tripwire.
Is there? Yeah, if I could also say, well, there could also be hunters or some people up there, trying to hunters or anything
Trappers.
like that. Trappers that will. We got to make sure because it's the wilderness and they're trying to, catch the Bigfoot and stuff.
That's actually not a bad
That's pretty good too. Yeah.
thing.
That's what I basically say is there's hunters and it's because it's Bigfoot country, so there might be hunters
Sure.
who are trying to.
Well, there's going to be people hunting for rabbits and deer and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
So that's
But-
that's three pretty good rationalizations for tripwire.
Sure. So go ahead. You can roll there, Agent Skolnick.
All right. So I'm gonna use my charisma.
Okay. And Chemist, can you give me a search roll?
Yeah.
I did not make my charisma roll. I was uncharismatic at that time.
Okay.
It's probably because I was all sweaty or something like
Just making it look all the more
that.
suspicious.
Here, let me throw some more dirt on that grave.
Right.
I pass my search.
Okay. So I'll just say that Bert, he's just kind of eyeballing you guys. He doesn't say anything. He's been nervous about you guys from the beginning. And this is just another you can see in the back of his mind, he's kind of making little check boxes and everything.
Is Bird ex-military?
That's what I just had the chemist roll for. So yes, you could tell pretty much by looking at him that he does look like he might be ex-military.
Okay.
Now he's older. I think I told you he's around 60 something. So
Yeah. So that
He's
was my
retired.
if he's that he's that thorough, he's that meticulous.
Mhm.
If he's really eyeballing us and examining us as much as we're examining him and his friends, it only makes. Now I don't think he's a spook or anything like that, but
No.
I think just ex-military kind of starts it, so to speak.
From now on, I'm simply going to look foolish. I'm not going to. I'm going to try and counter what he may pick up from me by just looking clueless. Like I don't even understand why he's
Suspicious.
asking. Yeah.
I would be careful for going from
I'm not going
competent
to go
to too foolish, right? Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
a professional, but yeah.
Got
I'm
it.
just gonna I'm going to look clueless as to why. Well, for hunters.
I was going to bring this up earlier and I didn't. And now that you're saying this, I think I'm going to bring it up. Can you give me an idea roll, Agent Ty? Well, I want to tell you this. I'm going to. I'm going to tell you this anyway because I really wanted to tell you this. Do you remember earlier when you were talking about like possibly disguising yourself as like a bunch of hippies or?
Mm-hmm.
I'll remind you that. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't say it.
If you're going to say there aren't hippies up there, believe me.
Okay.
There are more crazy artists and flower children up in that area.
I guess what I was going to say is I'll just be vague about it. You have a certain look about you, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
Who Agent Ty does?
I'm very clean cut.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to counteract that by the way I'm acting.
Yes. Okay, so you guys have been hiking for a good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And finally, by the way, we can say that you guys brought lunch and stuff like that, like you prepared food and stuff, snacks and stuff. You got water, that's not going to be an issue.
I had trail mix, just
some pemmican maybe. So sure enough, eventually they start to slow down. You guys are okay. They're since they know where they're going, they're taking the lead, right? You guys are okay with that?
Yeah.
So eventually they slow down and they're like, okay, well, these are the coordinates we've been given. So this is kind of the area we're in. Now, we don't have exact coordinates of what we're looking for. So we are going to have to sort of spread out and maybe just start looking around.
Okay.
My first question is, does it look like we are in a marijuana farm? Does where we are jive with what the information that we were given by Agent Judith?
Give me a search roll.
Yeah. It's
You can
probably
all
not
give
going
it
to look like a marijuana farm until you are amidst the marijuana bushes.
Right. Well, I mean, there might be buildings, there might be lean-tos or shacks or something like that, some sign of civilization or some sign of cultivation, as opposed to just out in the middle of the woods, right? I'm sorry, that was a search?
Search roll, and if you want, you guys all can roll if you want.
Yeah.
I made my search roll.
Okay.
I make my search.
I'm looking, but I didn't make it.
So, right almost, within 20 minutes, you see signs of what looks to be a lot of machete marks.
Mm-hmm.
So the police the county sheriff's department has already been here and they've already eliminated the plants.
I'm just looking for congruity for where they're taking us, as opposed to I want to make sure our mission is jiving up.
Yes, you get the sense that things are.
Yeah. Just a sanity check, so to speak.
So these areas would be like meadows in between the trees.
Right.
It's all going to be old growth trees.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You guys are deep in the woods. It's hard to walk at some points. It's not like you guys are really on any kind of a trail at all.
Right.
But like, for instance, it's the only really way, like you would know that the weed farmers, the only way they got here was also by GPS. So
sure,
if you didn't have these coordinates, you would have never found it.
So I'm still capturing the coordinates.
Yep.
Now I'm not familiar with GPS units myself personally out of game. Is there any way to transmit these, or is it just kind of a dead box where it's just recording the coordinates? There's no way I can really connect via Bluetooth or any type of that where I could send these anywhere, like for off-site storage. Does that make sense?
Unless Delta Green is already doing that for you, maybe.
Right.
This is just out of game. We had a GPS at our work. We had the GPS and everything. And the only way we can actually get this stuff off is if you hook it up to a computer. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure. I'm still recording, though.
Right.
For later download.
I'm not sure. Maybe it was the type of GPS we had, but it's just out of game that it's hooked up to a computer, and then all the information would be on a computer.
Got it.
Then you can send it away.
So I'm still capturing, making sure that there's kind of a breadcrumb trail back and forth in case we need to replicate our steps later.
So at this point that we're there, is it obvious that it was marijuana that was being grown there? I mean, are there stubbles and bits of plants and?
We'll say that since you already passed on your search roll, yes, you would you've been trained in this to some degree, so you know what you're looking at, yes.
Right.
And in fact, we'll say like even to the point where maybe they missed a plant or two and there's a couple off to the side of the clearing that are still growing up.
When I'm just going to kind of start in the center of the area and start walking a circular pattern going outward and just kind of looking at the ground, looking at the trees. But while I'm doing that, I'm also going to look at our companions. I want to, are their actions congruent with UFO investigators? They're breaking out their equipment. They kind of know what they're doing. They're taking pictures. I want to make sure there's congruency with what they're telling us, who they are and what they're doing, and make sure everything jives.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they ask you guys when you get to the site, they start unpacking their gear and stuff. Anton actually has a metal detector.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, do you guys have your walkie-talkies with you?
Yeah, we brought walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
Because we're on channel 2. So if you guys want to use...
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
should we like fan out and see if we find anything and yell on the walkie-talkie, huh? If we find something.
Yeah, whatever's easier. I mean, we encourage you, don't wander off too far by yourself. Try to always stay within yelling distance.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, it's a thick forest, so sometimes it doesn't take long until you kind of lose track of where you are. And,
Is it possible, based on training and experience, that if there was something that had fallen down, a UFO or something like that, a likely place, based on the topography of the area, the mountains, the trees, and so forth, where we might find it, which is the most likely direction to go in?
Well, say there was a crash, right? Maybe they would want a clear area like this.
Well, I'm asking the GM.
Yeah.
Like, can I roll?
I don't think I can answer that.
Okay.
If we've got old growth trees above us, then they would actually, if the UFO is coming down, they would need to break branches, break limbs. If we look up, we would see some sort of distress.
Especially if it came in from an angle.
Either top down or angle.
So we're looking for damage in the trees above.
Yes.
That would indicate that something came down.
I'm not going to make your roll for this, but does anybody know when Roswell happened?
1947?
Yeah.
Correct. So that's all I'm going to say.
That's the answer.
Well,
is there any damage to the trees? 1947.
Well, let's put it this way. What if the trees were damaged in 1947, they would have time to grow back in the intervening 60 years?
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can extrapolate from what the answer that the GM just gave.
No, it would be 70 years.
Well, Roswell's in the middle of New Mexico, in the middle of the desert. This is practically a rainforest that we're in right now.
He's being vague on purpose, I guess.
Of course. But we all know that Roswell was just a big weather balloon. That was just. I can't say it out loud.
I'm gonna click my mic and talk into it. Test channel 2. Make sure that somebody from their team responds. Make sure I'm looking at them. We have eye contact. Okay, yes, everybody's on channel 2. I want to make sure that's working before I start heading off.
You know what? I don't want to be the mean GM, but I'm going to.
Sure, okay. Go ahead.
Give me a luck roll, Skolnick.
Okay. Oh, it's 50-50 in Delta Green, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, 67. Nope.
Okay.
I am unlucky.
So you're checking your walkie-talkie, and you go to channel 2.
Mm-hmm.
You have a government-issued scrambled walkie-talkie. It is not what they're using. They have a couple like store-bought walkie-talkies.
Radio Shack. Yeah.
Radio Shack.
Okay.
So your guys' technology is on a whole nother level than what they're using, and your channel 2 and their channel 2 does not jive up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that when he says, "Can you hear us?" it would like come out blasting out of there at super high power. So we can't contact them. Okay.
So we also probably don't want to show them our walkie-talkies. Oh, mine's not working, or well, what the hell is that thing? You know.
I don't think that's that dangerous because we can just say, "Yeah, we got the latest newfangled walkie-talkie."
Yeah.
You know, they won't know the difference.
Right.
Say they're from China.
Dick's Sporting Goods just got them in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So basically now the three of us can talk to each other
Right.
on the walkie-talkies. But once the two teams are separate,
Right.
we're going to be. We need, like you said, we need to be within hollering distance.
Right. But now our mission takes over. We need to find this thing.
Right.
Regardless of what those guys are doing, they're just saucer hunters. We need to find this thing. So can we use like tracking or something to try to figure out where to go?
I have one more question to ask you guys. So you guys start, the equipment starts breaking out. Everyone's starting to get prepared. Everyone starts, you already touched on this idea of like a concentric circle idea.
Yeah.
So maybe
either a grid or concentric circle. There needs to be some sort of logic to our pattern of search.
And what Bill's going to suggest, not Bill, sorry, Bert. What Bert's going to suggest is that maybe, you have the coordinate point already. So you start from that as your center point, and maybe everybody just radiates out in like a star pattern.
Okay. If we do that, we want to make sure that the three of us go in opposite directions. So even if we're with some of them, that way we've got the more chance of.
I think that's a good idea. I don't think the three of us want to be together. I think it's like boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. Us, them, us, them, us, them. Okay. And as long as we're still in visual range or yelling range, that way we're still ensconced. But we can also still individually carry out our mission and contact the other two agents should something happen.
So let me see if I can figure this out.
I think we should be on channel 3, channel 5.
There's 7 of you, right? You got 4 from Saucer Watch and 3.
Yes.
So I'm going to picture like a map compass. So Bert's going to go north. Who would want to go northeast?
Oh no.
I'll go.
One goes north, one goes southwest, and one goes.
It's a peace sign.
Yeah, it's a peace sign.
I'll take southwest. Then maybe somebody should or southeast, and somebody should take
east, southeast. I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll have Connie's going to go south.
And Agent Skullduggery will go north.
So who would go there?
Of course, we got to deal with topography too. If there's hills and
of course.
And Chemist is a little gimpy right now, so
It's actually not that. I'm still working. It's just.
Well, we can also exclude going back towards the road. So.
Right. So that kind of removes a portion of the pie, so to speak.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a nice good walking stick, and I'm kind of slowly hobbling away down, but
by now
I'm a lot slower than the rest of.
Sure. All right. So let's start thinking about what roles, because not all of you have search. Is that correct?
I'm 50%.
I'm 40.
Okay, so you do.
I'm 60.
All right, perfect.
But I got good alertness, so.
I do too.
All right, everybody give me a search roll.
I got a 49 out of 50.
I did.
3.
I am. Dang, you are king of search. I did not make my search.
Chemist found the cars.
Okay. Roll again, please.
Okay.
Oh,
47,
Crit-
2 points better.
critical success.
Okay.
11 out of 40. It's doubles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Chemist, how'd you do?
Sorry, what do you need to roll?
The same roll, whatever you rolled last time. Search, I think.
Okay. 19 out of, so I passed.
Okay. And one more. We're going to do it like a best out of 3.
Okay.
85. Didn't pass.
Hey, I got a 13.
I did not pass my third one.
Okay. So,
Apparently I have laser sight.
yeah, you rolled well.
You're
So
walking
that was,
slower, so yeah.
We basically that covered roughly about 2 hours worth of searching.
Okay.
Now, there's been chatter on the walkie-talkies, like you guys can communicate with one another. But like you're not hearing what they're talking about. So trying to think. Let me see.
Is there a way we can fiddle with our our walkie-talkie to see if we can pick up on their signal? Find it somewhere on the...
Do any of you have that skill?
Oh, that would be signal intelligence? No.
I have electrician, mechanic, microelectronics, and computer science.
Go ahead and roll
I also-
electronics.
I'm
I
sorry.
also
Say,
have computer science too.
say again, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Microelectronics. Go ahead and roll that.
All right. Do you have luck in Delta Green where you can spend luck points?
No.
Because I missed it by 3.
3 points, huh?
We're always... It's 50%, so we don't have points in luck.
Did you say you had something, Corey?
I had computer science.
Computer science? I don't think that's going to cut it.
Or just give me a second. I'll just quickly check here.
Nobody has...
Well,
signal
I have
intelligence.
mechanical engineering.
Yeah, it's not mechanical.
It would seem
Let's
like
have-
more this is where you need to be able to take the guts of the... crack open the back of the...
Right, that's how I'm picturing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like knowing which, what do they call dip switches, like which dip switch to trigger and so forth.
Yeah.
And the fact that you and the chemist are not together either, so I can't really have like the chemist assist you. At this
Oh, well,
point.
so we can't.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Hey, it's worth a try.
Yep, absolutely. It was a good idea.
But we can communicate with our walkie-talkies. So
Yes.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
are we in visual range of the Saucer Watch team?
probably not anymore.
I'll let you decide that. If you guys wanted to remain in visual distance, that's fine.
The problem is the woods. They're very dense. Once you get past 100 feet, you're not going to be able to see anybody around you.
Right. So if you were to do that, and like if they saw you, then they would kind of be like, you're not really searching in the area you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Unless you both came out on opposite ends of like a big old meadow.
Well,
right.
my thing here is, did we make, before we set out on our search, did we, because do the Saucer Watch people know that we cannot talk to them?
Probably
That's what I'm trying to figure out in my head.
Right. Did we talk, oh, our walkie-talkies must be busted, or these are
Right.
the, did we plan on, some of us may have personal cell phones. Did we exchange numbers? Do we have any bars? Did we coordinate? Well, let's meet back at ground zero in 3 hours or 4 hours, because if we're out of contact with these 4 people, we'll never know when they go back to camp. We'll never know when they pack up.
Right.
We'll never know when they leave.
Right.
It seems like we've unnecessarily isolated ourselves here.
But do we really care? We're here to find this thing. Coming along with them was just a lucky happenstance.
Well, the scenario I'm thinking of is, what if they find it before you do?
Well, we'll eventually find it.
They'll
tell us where it is.
Is this the blind squirrel finds a nut scenario? I mean,
let's do this, because I feel like we're kind of retroactively doing it, but yet I feel like it also makes sense. So why don't you give me a luck roll? We'll do who feels lucky this time.
You know what?
I'm not falling for that this time.
Yeah,
lucky
Agent Ty was the opposite of luck last night, so maybe Chemist can redeem our luck.
I don't. Okay.
No.
Was it a crit fail or just a fail?
It's not. It was one off from a crit fail, but no, it wasn't a crit fail.
Why don't we, since we've been out here for 2 hours, why don't we walk back to where the cars are and see if they've done the same thing?
We can compare
Obviously.
notes.
Here's the thing.
We've been talking to each other on the walkie-talkies.
Well, and here's the thing, too. If those hoodlums, those criminals that were running the farm, they claimed that they saw something. It didn't take them 2 hours to walk to what they saw. So we obviously have gone the wrong direction. So let's go back to the center and then go in the other direction. Go in the same directions they went in. And see if we run into it.
Sounds good. Maybe we can
they'll be there and say they didn't find anything either.
Right. Take a smoke break, take a lunch break, whatever. Compare notes, and then come up with a better plan.
As far as the walkie-talkies, just tell them, well, we got these high newfangled Chinese things, and apparently what they consider channel 2 is not the same channel 2 as your channel 2.
Right.
I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna say no, and the reason is that with your good search rolls, Chemist, you come to a sort of a clearing. It's not very big. It's maybe like 50 feet in diameter, but it's a point in the woods where there's no overhead cover.
It's a meadow.
Yeah, a meadow. Thank you. And you see something catches your eye, like a glint of something catches the sunlight.
Okay. What does it look like?
You're going to walk in or up to it to investigate it?
Yes. What I'll do is I have my knife and my gun out, and they're not out, but I have my hand beside my gun in case something happens. I will, and I walk closer to it.
Where is your gun?
It is in my It's kind of in my holster.
Is it like on your hip, or is it like a? Do you have?
It's on my hip.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So you see something that kind of catches the sunlight, and as you walk closer to it, it's laying on the ground, and it's partially covered with brush, and there's sand and stuff, but it looks kind of like silvery.
Okay. I have the walkie-talkie, guys. I found something. It's silvery. I will. I'm basically telling them I punch in the
What's it look
coordinates. It's silvery. I'm not entirely sure.
How big is it?
How big is it?
Yeah. Well, I guess we're on our way. If it's something
Right.
real,
We don't
not
want to
just an old
scramble
tire
over
part.
there for a piece of aluminum foil. So,
Right.
I mean,
Well, I'm also thinking that Agent Skolnick is the one that has the GPS and not the chemist.
Okay.
Right.
So
Well, we know the
how's-
direction that he went, so we can head back to the center and then go in the direction that he went.
Okay.
So, but what? Tell us what it looks like.
It's
yeah, keep
so
talking to us. Yeah.
I'm telling you this to you, the chemist. So as you start to look at this thing, well, you tell me, how would you like to investigate this?
I'll go closer,
Yep.
but just enough to see how big, like, just so I can not too close, but close
Mhm.
enough that I can, get some visual clues or
Okay.
cues to the rest of them.
So yeah, as you get closer, you start to see little spots in the sand of more pieces of what appear to be like a semi-metallic material.
Okay, I say it's the semi-metallic material. It is a little bit. It looks to be tons of smaller pieces, and it looks kind of like something crashed here.
Well, how big is it?
Each piece that you're looking at is maybe about like this big around, like about 1 inch or 2 inches around.
It's not that big.
What
So
about
there's not, like-
surrounding it? Are there any scorch marks or burn marks or flattened grass where something might have landed? Take a look around it. Let's not focus on the silver. Let's focus around the silver and
Yeah.
see if we can kind of put together a better picture of what may have happened here.
Now we're walking towards him as we're walking rather
we're
quickly.
keeping the channel open, but we're also moving.
Yeah.
Now, the question I want to ask you guys, so as you guys are heading to where you think the chemist is located, is anybody making attempts to alert the other Saucer Watch people?
We don't have any way to do it.
I mean, you
No.
could yell.
The answer is no.
You were supposed to be within yelling distance. So
Yeah, no.
I'm not yelling yet, but I will probably soon. But
We'll just say
I
we
think-
got.
I
we
think
were-
the better idea is for us three to get to the site first.
right.
And
And
then
if
if we
they-
feel like sharing the information, if it's
Well, we're not Saucer Watch people. We're Delta Green.
right, exactly.
Okay.
That's
No,
why
if-
we need to be the tip of the spear here, so to speak.
And if they ask, we'll just say we got so excited we forgot to yell.
Yeah. hmm
okay, let's see. Let's have Agent Ty and Agent Skolnick give me 3 search rolls.
Okay.
All right.
14. 46 and 48. All 3 passed.
Okay.
okay.
None
So
were-
in a matter of, we'll say about a half an hour it takes you, because you guys traveled opposite directions, so you guys kind of Skolnick, how did you do?
I only passed one of mine, but it was a 5 out of 40, so it was a really good pass. But the other two
Okay.
I did not pass. 1 out of 3.
So what we'll do is we'll have Agent Ty will get there first, and then you'll be behind him by, say, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Now, when I get back to where the cars are, where the camp is, and that's not really a camp, but where the cars are, do I see any of the other?
So just to clarify, you guys parked the cars way out on the fire road.
Okay,
You hiked
Well-
about 2 hours into the woods.
okay. We had
So
a
this-
central point though where we started from.
Right, and that's like 2 hours into the woods.
Okay, so when I get back to that spot,
Okay.
were there any of the other the Saucer people there? Because I'm going to go to that spot, and then I'm going to go the direction that
The direction that he went. I got you.
chemist went.
let's do this. Yes, you're going to see Dina. She's sitting there. She's unpacking lunches.
Okay.
So she does not see you yet.
Okay.
So if you want to get around her, you're going to have to do a stealth roll.
I'll do that. I'll try and walk around, but I'm going to walk slowly and carefully to get around her.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you don't have to do that. I'm just saying that's if you don't want to be seen.
My alternative would be to walk into camp casually,
right,
and just sort of say, "Well, I didn't see anything, but I think I'm going to go check on the chemist because his foot was hurting him."
Yeah, you can do that too. It's up to you.
Grab a couple of sandwiches just to make it look better.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think that's what I'll do.
Okay.
Do you want me
you
to
don't even
use
have to roll for that.
Okay. So
are you taking the sandwiches? Because she's like, oh, I thought we were going to have like a little picnic out here.
I'm like, you know what? No, I'll just see if I can find him and we'll come back. I think that Agent Skolnick is heading in here too. So
is your radio working? We were trying to contact you and we didn't get any response.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't get a hold of you. We bought these newfangled Chinese things and they're just they're really high powered, but apparently what they think is channel 2 isn't the same channel 2 as your channel 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
well, don't wander too far. We don't want to lose track of you.
Now I think it's pretty clear which direction he went in. I'll be right back.
Why don't if you get a hold of your teammates, why don't we all meet back here about 3:00 and we'll have lunch?
Okay. In fact, I pull out my walkie-talkie and I'm like, guys, we're gonna meet back in the center spot for lunch, 3:00. Don't answer.
I almost
What about
did.
the secret UFO that we just found?
Yeah, as you're talking, Corey is describing the walkie. It's silver. It's huge. It's humongous.
Put him on mute.
Yeah. Haha.
Well, if he did that, I would immediately pretend like, what, you found something? And then I'd shoot Dean.
So,
no, I wouldn't shoot.
So,
all right, so I'm heading that way.
Yeah, we'll say you're at the site with the chemist.
And as soon as I'm out of the camp and on the way, I warn Skolnick that Dean is in the camp getting sandwiches ready.
Yep. Okay. What would you two like to do?
Yeah. So what am I seeing now?
So you as you approach, you see the chemist. He's kind of like kneeling down. He's got his knife out and he's like poking around in the sand.
So these are just bits and pieces that we're finding?
Well, here's the thing. When you start doing that with your knife, chemist, you start to realize that it's not little bits and pieces. It's actually one huge piece that's just been covered up with debris and so forth. So you were only seeing little bits and pieces, but it's actually one giant piece of this.
It's buried in the ground?
Yeah.
Not unusual in a meadow. It's soft here.
Right.
Soft ground.
But is it buried?
Yeah, can we?
Are we just seeing the tip of it? Like if we start just taking our hands and moving the debris, does it begin to get bigger as we clear it?
Yes.
I guess are we seeing the whole or are we seeing a busted up part? It sounds to me that you're describing that we're starting to uncover a larger object that has been buried,
right?
Which brings me back to the Roswell 1947. Remember, I said that there would be time for the trees to heal, but also during those 70 years, there would also be time for debris to come down and actually bury it and cover it. So
I think
the flat may not be recent.
Right.
Remember if I remember correctly, the two guys that are sitting in county jail, they didn't necessarily say it flew in, shined a bright light on us. All they said specifically was, we found something.
Can we get some idea of how big it is? And if not exactly how big it is, more or less that it is big.
Like, can we start walking toward the edges and starting to uncover it, and maybe we start in the middle or where we think the middle might be, and we keep walking until we find an edge, and then look at each other and see there's some sort of circumference?
Look, I don't think that we should try to uncover it. I think, if anything, we should try to cover it and get your coordinates so that we know exactly where it is.
I'm punching the coordinates. Heck, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But, yes, what you're saying is, I think this is right. Yeah, come over here, dig a little, see if we find a piece of it, and see if it's 100 feet across, if it's 5 feet across.
Right. Yeah. I'm thinking of a certain movie where they did that, and it's like they keep moving out to see the circumference of the saucer or whatever's buried.
Well, I'm thinking, too, of Stephen King's The Tommyknockers.
I'm thinking of the Thing.
Yeah, the thing. The Thing, they could see it in the ice.
Yeah,
but,
right. There was a shadow, but they kind of stood in a circle. I remember that kind of iconic scene.
The Tommyknockers, it's just a tiny little edge of a.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Of a 1,000-foot across saucer that's buried in the ground like that.
My goodness.
They're just seeing this part right here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So.
In any case, we've got to cover it up so that if they show up.
So I'm punching in the coordinates. So I don't think this is the type of situation that Agent Judith it doesn't really fit her prerequisites for contact yet.
Correct.
But is there any way that chemists can we do a scraping? Can we do a filing? Can we take some sort of physical evidence back? He's got his kit.
That's a good. The question is it scratched at all?
Can we scratch it?
Is it scratched? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it perfectly
rusted?
smooth?
Is it damaged? Are there edges? Is it smooth? What's the texture?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll say at this point you arrive, Skolnick. I'm just teasing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So based on that sort of, we'll say that you guys are starting to look at this material closely, and the best I can give you a description of, it appears to be old. That's pretty evident because of the way that the debris and stuff is scattered over it. The term buried, it's not like somebody intentionally tried to bury this.
Right.
Okay. So just so we're clear on that.
It may have crashed and then just sunk.
The chemist, why don't do you have a, what would your skill be that you could use for, you have chemistry.
Metallurgy would be part of that, probably.
Go ahead and give me a chemistry roll.
Also, remember that other guy's got a metal detector.
Maybe forensics.
I passed. Got a 17 out of 65.
Okay, perfect. So basically, as you start to look at this closer, it seems like it's material. It almost feels like a woven material that may have been covered with either some sort of a mylar or some sort of a rubbery texture to it.
Okay.
Mylar.
When you are trying to get a sense of how big this is, it's not uniform. So this is like, so imagine like somebody took a giant piece of a tablecloth or something and just kind of threw it out in the woods. So like it's not like a perfect circle. It's just like crumpled cloth.
So is the chemist actually grabbing this quote tablecloth and picking it up? And is it well, I'm just kind of trying to visualize what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
I suddenly suspect that, what if this is just an old weather balloon that's buried out here?
Right.
And I'm going to take risk touching it and feeling if it's just like cloth, like silver cloth.
Sure. I will say too, be aware that you've been out here for a while and it's starting to get close to 3 o'clock. So
okay.
Just be aware that at some point they're going to be expecting you back at the camp.
Well, we have the coordinates plugged in, so we can come back here at any given moment if we want to get away. After if they decide to break camp, if they decide to go back to the hotel, we could always go back to the hotel, or let them drive far enough ahead of us where we could circle back and come back and continue our investigation. But we also have to deal with we're losing daylight,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be much harder to investigate this.
You'll have daylight until almost 9 o'clock. Well, you won't have daylight, but
I don't think that's a worry at this point. But it's something to be aware of. But it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to see is it like mylar or a cloth?
Yes. It's kind of like how I described it. It's almost like a hybrid of material, a shiny sort of mylar substance, and like a rubbery type substance.
I'm like, guys, wait a second. We might be wrong. This might just be a weather balloon or a dirigible or something that crashed here a long time ago and it's gotten buried.
It would be ironic if it was something from Fish and Wildlife.
Well, it looks just like.
I'm asking Agent Ty, like, what does it feel like? Does it have any sensation, or does?
Would it be correct to say that it feels something like like gunny sack, or not rough, kind of smooth, but
maybe like taffeta?
No, well, taffeta would be, that's real scratchy.
So have you ever seen, like, in the hardware store, you can buy this paint that's like a rubbery paint where you can take your tools and you dip it into that paint.
Yeah.
And it puts
rubber.
Yeah.
So imagine
what's it called? Like a spray liner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine that sort of material, that sort of rubbery paint-like material, and then you took a piece of spandex and dipped it into that rubbery material and then let it dry.
All right. So while they're focusing on that, is there anything else?
Okay, you're going to pull on it?
I've got some of it. I'm going to see if I can pull it. Is it coming up out of the ground like a piece of cloth?
I'm gonna basically stand back. Like, I'm gonna slowly.
What are you afraid of? It's a freaking balloon. It's a freaking weather balloon.
Whatever. Go ahead.
So I get some leverage and I pull it to see if I can unearth it.
You succeed. You don't even have to roll for that. It's fairly easy. And when you do, there's something kind of, again, sort of not buried, but covered with debris and so forth. Now, this is going to be a little bit hard to describe. It's partially buried. There are what looks to be a lot of cables, almost like wires or cables, about the size of your pinky, though. So, like, not like little tiny electronic wires, but like
right cables.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, guys, this looks like a parachute, maybe. Are the cables attached to the fabric? Are there grommets or?
There are, but they're two separate things. So there are strings, what I would call, like what you would think might like a parachute might be, whereas these other pieces are more like thicker cables, more almost like an electronic cable.
While Agent Ty is looking at that, I want to focus on the surrounding area.
Okay.
Looking up, looking down, doing my concentric circle, working my way out from it. Do I see any more of this fabric? Do I see anything else?
Sure. Give me a search roll.
Dang, no. I'm blind as a bat.
You don't really see anything.
Okay. I'll keep looking.
Okay.
Chemist, why don't you look around too? I have a funny feeling that if we find 3 of these things, this could be like a space capsule that came down and crashed here in the woods. with the three
What if it was some sort of
chutes.
chute or some type of emergency braking device?
Right. Yeah, I mean, to keep
No.
it from,
No. I don't see anything. I failed, by the way.
Okay. Yep.
well, it could be completely buried by this time, but this sure looks like a parachute to me. Is there?
Yeah, I don't know what's going
can I pull
on
the
here.
entire cloth thing out of the ground?
You could. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I'm going to look
do
at my
that.
watch. Are we getting close to 3 o'clock yet?
We'll say you have roughly about a half hour.
Okay, good. Okay.
Who cares? If we don't show up there at 3 o'clock, then we can say, "Hey, guess what, guys? We found a parachute." Right?
We lost track of time while we were playing with the parachute.
So once I pull it out of the ground, can we stretch it out to see what shape it is? Is it a big circle? Is it a parachute?
It is not a parachute. Give me an idea roll. You all can give me an idea roll.
Does it have a shape?
Yeah, that's what I think you would be able to figure it out. So as long as you don't get a crit fail, I think
Okay. It's 28.
that's fine.
Is that intelligence?
Yeah, it's intelligence.
Okay, I made mine as well.
So yeah, it wasn't that tricky to figure out. It's the shape of what you would think that if it were inflated, it would basically be a balloon.
It's a big balloon. It's
Oh,
a
you
weather
got to
balloon.
be. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Which does it have writing on it like Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey's
Right.
Circus? In which case it would be an unidentified zany object.
All right.
Not on the balloon, no.
Uh-oh.
What about the cables? Sometimes on cables there's lettering or writing or stamping or something like that. If we examine the cables, or is it just
If the cables are attached
Yeah,
to a basket, we can follow the cables along to find the basket.
Like maybe some cables they have it would be like a security code or something like that. Will be identification number.
Yep. So basically the cables lead back to that those metal the wires that I was talking about.
When you say wires, okay, are we talking about electronic wires?
Do you know what your cable coax looks like? Your TV?
Yeah, big old electronic wire.
It looks like that, but a little bit thicker.
I'm having a hard time kind of visualizing this. Can you look at my screen for a second? So if here is here's the fabric, and then do we have the cables,
Yes.
and then the wires are down here. So
Correct.
It's like boop, boop, boop. Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
Okay. How about a satellite that crashed? A satellite that came down.
That could also be.
I mean, some electronic bits and pieces are. Can we grab a hold of the electronic wires and follow them?
Sure. Yep.
Pulling them out. Yeah, pull them, see where they go.
Yeah.
All right. So as you start to clear the debris off of that, it's becoming clear that this is an object that you're not familiar with.
It keeps defining what we think that it is.
I'm going to show
It's
you.
like everybody has a different piece of the elephant.
I'm thinking
Exactly.
Sputnik.
Exactly. Right. I'm going to show you a picture now. Now, the picture is showing you the entire thing. So just realize that part of this is still buried at this point. So the part that I was referring to as far as the cables, if you look towards the top, there's looks like they're all wrapped around a box.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to describe there.
So we've basically discovered the top of the box, and we're working our way toward the large circular discs,
Right.
and toward the bottom of that. All right.
Yep.
Now, is there anything on the top of that looks like a burner? Could it be a hot air balloon
No.
burner?
No.
Man,
Okay.
I doubt that anybody thought to pack a Geiger counter.
No.
I will say that as you start to clear all the debris away from it and the sand and dirt, there's also a single button on the top.
Don't push the button.
Is it a red button?
Yeah, for the heck of it, let's say it's a red button.
I am Groot. No, not that button.
I am Groot.
Well, we're not going to punch the button, that's for sure.
I
say we still keep digging a little bit and see what happens here.
Give me a search roll, and as long as you don't get a crit fail, I'll tell you another piece.
Is there any writing anywhere on this thing?
All right, so since you specifically asked, you don't have that roll. Yes, you do see what looks like writing, but they look like little symbols almost. Like not,
is it Russian? Is it Cyrillic?
No.
I know a couple of languages. I got French and German.
I've got Chinese covered, so I assume it's not kanji or any type of Asian writing.
I have Japanese.
Okay, the chemist knows that this is Japanese writing.
Ah, excellent. Well done.
What
does it say?
And it looks old?
I assume he can read it if he can recognize it. I assume he can also read.
You could roll your skill to see if you could read it.
Okay.
To answer your question, yes, that's all.
Guys, if this is from World War II, could this be a bomb?
No, I don't reckon. Cannot read it. It seems to be a little bit of a different version of the Japanese I'm used to.
You're distracted by your pained ankle.
Yeah.
What if this, guys, oh my God, what if this was an atomic bomb and it was sent in revenge for Hiroshima and it crashed here and it hasn't gone off?
Let's tone it down from 11, I think, and let's
just here. I want to just see one thing.
I'll tell you what, chemist, you can hit the button, but wait about 2 hours until I get at least 50 miles away.
I was going to say history, see if Japanese had a big carrier that can hold a big thing, but I don't have history, so I'm not going to know that. I'm not going to touch it unless you want to touch it there, Skulnick.
Well,
the button.
Again, I think this still falls outside of our mandate. We found something. It's of this earth. It's, we were sent here to investigate. We've got the coordinates. We know that it's nothing. This mission, as far as I'm concerned, is kind of effectively over. Unless we want to keep searching for something else. Now, we don't have the statements of the two men that are in county jail to compare, what did you see? What did you find? So yeah. I think right now this is kind of a red herring as far as our mission is concerned.
If there is danger involved here, our mission is ultimately to protect the United States. And
not on this one. No,
absolutely on this one. It's always that. It's never anything but that.
No, then we call Agent Judith and we have her send people to come clean up.
I think absolutely yes, but we need to back up.
I don't think this is zany. It looks zany, but I don't think this is
That was just her thing. This is not. This is far more dangerous than we think that it is. We gotta keep those people.
Well, we know where it is, and we can always come back to it.
We got to keep the civilians from finding this.
So then we go back and have lunch, and we act like we didn't find a darn thing, and we keep the cover, we keep the secret.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm really curious about this touching that button.
Yeah, you're not that curious. You don't want us all to die.
Right. 2 out of 3 vote not to touch the button, so I think the motion is not carried.
Agent Ty, give me an alertness roll.
23. Yes.
You are alert.
There's something like nagging at the back of your mind, and the hairs on the back of your neck are starting to rise up. Like you're getting a bad feeling about this.
Are we being watched?
I was getting a bad feeling about this before we.
Yes. I'm just re-emphasizing it.
I'll tell you right now that if Agent Chemist makes a move towards that button, I'm going to tackle him to the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't understand why we're not going back to camp for lunch here. This is only taken 3 seconds, so.
Yeah.
How far away are we from the camp? How far of a walk is it back for us to get to the center spot? 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
We'll say if you hurried, you could probably make it back in a half hour.
So
like at this point, if you left right now and walked quickly, you'd be back like within 15 minutes, like 3:15.
Okay.
We have to cover this thing back up.
Fine, let's do that.
We
We've got
can't
the
risk
coordinates.
finding it.
No, absolutely agreed. Cover it up. We've got the coordinates. We go back. We, have lunch. I don't think this warrants. I really don't think this warrants any further investigation because it's of this earth.
I've got my eye on Chemist.
No, he's fine. We'll just we'll help him back to the campsite. Let him rest his ankle. I mean, I personally, I think we're done here.
Who's covering it up?
I say why don't all three of us covered up. We'll get it done and get the heck out of here.
How are you covering it?
I got a question. You say there's a button.
Yeah.
Is it just like a little cylinder that you would push in, or is there an edge underneath? Is there a way I could like jam something underneath it so that there's no way that you could push the button down?
You would have to look at it closely to try to figure that out.
Well, I look at it closely. I look at it. I don't touch it.
Sure. Give me either. Let me look at your sheet here.
It's almost like you'd have to put a shim in it.
Yeah, that's the idea. A rock or something that'll keep it from going down. Because just burying it could do it.
Not if we're just, we can camouflage it. We don't have to put piles of dirt on it to apply pressure. We could put branches, pine needles, leaves, mulch.
Well, we don't want, a branch could fall off a tree or a pine cone and hit that.
It could have fallen off in the past 60 years.
But it didn't.
No.
Give me another alert roll, please.
3.
Ooh.
Man.
So as you start looking at this closer, that nagging sense in the back of your mind, it's starting to jostle a memory of when you were being trained. You had a course at one point in explosive devices, IEDs.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you're looking at this and the way the wires are worked, it's becoming more and more clear to you that this is an explosive device.
Yeah.
Are you sharing this information with us?
Well, the more closer I'm looking at it, yes. Guys, I'm absolutely sure this is an explosive device.
Do you think that we somehow activated it by uncovering it?
I don't think that it's activated, but that doesn't mean that it's not still active.
Right.
Or that
Agreed.
It can be triggered. My guess, this is just a complete hypothesis off the top of my head. There could have been a Japanese vessel off the coast. They could have launched this as a terrorist act on a balloon, knowing that it would come down somewhere and cause a tremendous amount of damage, probably in retaliation for Nagasaki or Hiroshima. But this is, the more I look at it, the more I'm sure this is an explosive device.
Chemist, do you want to take a close look at it?
I'll take a close look at it.
Okay.
So help me God, don't touch that thing.
Give me a chemistry roll and give me a dex roll.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Mike.
If this is like falling on your face in the soup, but it's a button.
I'll make my dex roll first.
Dex roll first.
Oh, I got a 15 for my dex.
Thank God.
Did I have you scared there, Agent Ty? And this is my chemistry roll.
Okay.
I got a 5. So
Nice.
both are successes.
Nice. So as you start looking at this closely, you can definitely back up the idea that this is an explosive device, because based on the smell and the way this is looking to you, it looks like there's a combination of dynamite, TNT, and thermite.
And we know what
Okay,
happens when dynamite sweats.
Right.
Nitroglycerin.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like,
We need to step back from this.
Skelnick, Ty, we should step back. This is extremely it's extremely scary. It's a dangerous situation. I'm like,
get Judith on the phone.
I'm sorry, say again?
Get Judith on the phone.
All right.
I understand it's not, but yeah, I agree, Ty.
I think Agent Ty is right. I think we need to get Agent Judith on the phone because, it's like, let me see. I actually wrote down her things, but a legit hostile activity. So I think this falls under, it's a left-handed cousin of hostile activity.
Delta Green has a lot of military contacts.
Right. So I'm going to take out the burner phone and I'm going to dial the one number.
We also need to get those civilians off the hill, off the mountain.
I'm going to hit dial and then I'm going to hand the phone to Agent Ty.
All right.
Good idea.
Does it connect?
After you hear a couple rings and a couple clicks and little bleeps and bloops,
It's probably being encrypted and passed through 3 different IPs.
A voice comes on and says, "Hello."
Agent Judith?
Maybe.
Agent Ty. I probably have a code way of saying this. Non-blue rose.
That's fine.
Possible Japanese atomic device. Needs to be very carefully eliminated.
And she responds.
Extreme danger.
And you need evacuation.
She responds with 2 words, and she hangs up. She says, "Handle it." She hangs up.
Handle it?
Do we need to defuse this bomb?
Holy crap.
What you want to do, Ty? What do you guys want to do?
Problem is,
Handle
with
it.
the old dynamite, it could, just from the vibration, it could go off.
Yeah. And if it's been sweating and it has nitroglycerin, you can see it on the outside. It's like a gel, like a liquid.
Well,
And that's pressure sensitive.
I think handling it means get these people off this mountain. And
that works for me. I
alert.
want to live to fight another day, and I want to fight something besides a 70-year-old atomic device.
Yeah. What time? Roughly, I look at my watch. What time is it?
Let's say it's like 5 of 3. So you're due back any minute. So you're definitely late, but you're not like extremely late at this point.
I don't care if we go into town and say, we lied to you that we're actually government agents and you guys need to get off this hill because there's an atomic device up here.
Or
because
we're fishing wildlife. What if we found an outbreak of fill in the disease here, and we need to evacuate due to that?
Okay. This is my reason. This is my reasoning. Okay. As you have said, This is not really a Delta Green problem. Okay? This is a military problem at this point. So we get those people off. We tell them that we're actually military. We get them off the hill. We contact the military and tell them what's up here. And then we fade away, and nobody ever knows who we are.
Give them the coordinates and hang up and run.
Yeah. And nobody ever knows who we are. They can never identify us. They can never find us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way we operate, right?
Except for our fingerprints all over the hotel room.
You mean your fingerprints are registered?
Who knows? Yeah, well, I'm on the books.
I don't leave fingerprints anywhere that I go.
No, I don't. I usually
That's Delta
I
1.
wear kind of like
I had mine burned off with acid. Okay.
I wear kind of like black gloves, kind of like hiking or driving gloves. So
24/7.
Whatever. We're Delta
He
Green
sleeps.
agents.
He sleeps in them.
no, I'm kind of like Mike Jackson was wearing white gloves.
So I think that's. What do you think? Is that what we should do? Alert the military? I mean, they'll send investigators to investigate.
I agree that but I don't think to yet. But
As opposed to what? I have no qualifications on defusing a possible atomic bomb.
I have microelectronics, but this is, decades before the microtransmitter.
And it's Japanese.
old school.
You don't know how they built this.
Right. We don't know where they got the technology, and they may have stolen it from Russia or even stolen it from us, got it from Operation Paperclip. Who knows?
Anyways, at this point, I think that's the best thing. We got to get these people off the mountain.
Right. I say we get back to camp. We have a quick lunch, maybe, okay, Agent Chemist, your ankle is super sore. We need to get you back into town and get you looked at. That precludes lunch. That gets everybody back in the cars. That gets everybody back to town.
Well, you're still thinking about lying to them. What's to keep them from coming up here tomorrow?
well,
They'll hit the button. We got to scare the shit out of them.
we can do. I don't think we can. We could say this is what I am going to say is we could say there is a possible contamination due to a possible leak. It's not safe for you to be up here.
There's nothing up here but mountains. A leak of what? Tell them there's a freaking bomb. They'll post it on their website. The military will be up here in no time.
You have a cell phone. Use it now.
And it doesn't work. Not up here.
Did you check?
No bars.
Jeff, I'm so tempted to press that button.
I'm just teasing. I didn't.
It comes out and it says bang,
No, but we could say there's a possible oil or oil leak or something like that, and that would get them off the.
All right, it's time to poop or get off the pot. I'm with whatever Agent Ty wants to do. I got his back. I'll go along with it, and go.
No.
Chemist, are you okay with Ty's plan, or
we're getting nowhere?
Can you recap it?
That's it. We're kind of getting nowhere, and Agent Ty came up with the most plausible plan right now. So I say we wing it and go for it.
Can you recap it again, just briefly, so I'm clear on what you're doing?
Well, I think that we should go in. Oh, we should go in and first have a sandwich. No, I want to get as far away from here as I possibly can in the quickest amount of time. We go back to camp. It's another lie I'm telling, but we tell them that we are part of the Air Force military, and that we had heard rumors that there was a possible device that had crashed up here in the mountains.
Unexploded
And
ordnance.
An unexploded ordnance. And in fact, we discovered it, and it is active, and we need to get them the hell out of the mountain right now. And if they need to, we can show them I can show them my identification.
Yeah.
No, let's roll.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, you get back to the camp. They got the sandwiches spread out, and they're like, you guys finally made it back. We were starting to get worried about you.
Yeah, about that. We have something to confess to you. We need to get off this mountain now. We are all in extreme danger.
And of course, like, shock and disbelief are on their faces. They're like, what are you talking about?
Except for Bert, who goes, I knew it.
Well, no, Bert, you may have already picked up on this, but we are with the military. We were coming up here because there was unexploded ordnance that landed up here in the mountains, and we didn't want to cause a panic. However, we did discover the ordnance, and it is active. We need to get off this mountain now and send military people up here who can defuse this bomb. And when I say bomb, make sure they understand it's a bomb.
Wow.
And to kind of emphasize the point, I start packing up our equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first thing, so yeah, Bert is he's not really reacting one way or another. He knew something was up. He's still not quite clear what's exactly happening, though. Anton, on the other hand, is suspicious, and he looks to his group, and he says, "How do we know you're telling the truth? For all I know, you're another UFO research group, and you just found something amazing, and you want to keep that information to yourself."
And I'm encouraging the women to pack up things. I mean, the only way that we can, I'll let Agent Ty sweet talk Anton, but I'm packing up equipment. I'm packing up their equipment. Sure. I mean, action speaks louder than words at this exact minute. And if they're not going to follow our lead, if they're going to stay behind, we've done our due diligence. We've warned them in the most stern way possible, as opposed to putting a gun to their head and saying, march to the cars. If they're going to stay behind, then there you go.
Actually, I think that we have enough equipment to make them believe that we are military. I can show them my ID if I need to.
Which ID?
The FBI.
Your actual real ID.
Sure.
Okay. So you show them your badge, you show them your ID. They
can see that we have guns at this point.
Yeah. And of course that scares them, I think, more than the ID. And I'm going to say they don't give you any more flack.
Okay.
So they are going to start packing up their stuff too.
And I also explained to them, I say, I know that, you guys are interested in this sort of thing, and sure, it might seem that we are just, discovering this ourselves, but I assure you that please don't come up here tomorrow, because we are getting the military involved in this. They will be here ASAP. That is possibly an atomic device.
Yeah.
Where was it? So in the midst now, they're packing up, and we can say you guys have already started walking. So, but in the course of you walking, the conversation is.
I tell them that.
I basically
we've got a 2-hour hike back, right?
Yes, right.
Just give me a
so
second.
That's plenty of time for them to go blah blah blah,
right.
And
I say
this cement the story.
I say that's confidential information. We don't want you to go up. We don't want you to go up and actually after go search for this bomb. Trust us, this is a danger to all of us, and we don't want anything to happen that will actually, be catastrophic.
Right.
Okay.
And
what we try to do is we try to sound as military as possible, so that, they think that we're part of some military thing.
Yeah, you've revealed yourself as an FBI agent.
Right.
They do not doubt that. So the country bumpkin UFO hunter has worn off, and you are in work mode. So
and Bert totally knows immediately. Oh yeah.
Your tone of voice has changed. You're all business at this point.
Well, we're also giving orders and expecting them to follow them, and we're talking amongst the three of us are talking to each other, and we're pretty. We've never worked together before, but we're professional enough to kind of become a well-oiled machine, for lack of a better term, and we're kind of double timing it back to the vehicles.
Right.
Sure.
We're not going to be. It's not going to be the Baton Death March between here and the cars, but it's not a leisurely stroll either.
I'm sure if they believe us, they're kind of scared at this point too.
And that's what we want. Fear is a good motivator right now. Agreed.
So after a long, awkward walk where there's a lot of silence, there's a few questions, there's a lot of short answers, and less talk, more walk. You guys eventually get back to your vehicles, and just give me a brief, how are you going to handle it from that point? Are you going to tell them to just get in the car and leave? Are you going to follow them, or how are you going to approach it?
I think that they need to go first, and we'll follow them.
Yes. To make sure that they don't circle back.
All we can do at this point is make sure they get back to town.
Okay.
Right.
And as soon as I get bars.
Yep. Good call.
Yeah. I need to have some way. Well, I probably have some connections that I can call General Who's a What's and tell him that.
Right. Something with someone with authority who can get stuff mobilized at the drop of a hat.
Right.
As opposed to going through 911 or the sheriff's department or something like that, the Podunk County Volunteer Fire Department. So if you've got connections, if you're FBI, I'm sure you got people who know people, and I think that's the fastest way. I give you the coordinates, I give you the bread trail,
right.
So they know exactly where our cars were. They can follow that bread trail exactly to those coordinates where that bomb is, and I think once we've done that, we're good.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we fade into the darkness.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. You guys figured it out, and you solved it peacefully.
Nice.
Good job.
Actually, I put a bullet in all their heads on the way back down the mountain. That was the easiest way to solve the problem.
No, yeah.
I cut off my ankle bracelet with my knife and take my laptop and,
they saw my ID. I had to kill them.
Go.
They saw my ID. I had to kill them.
So only because I forgot, can you guys do a sanity roll for me, please?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
What is
I failed.
Where is sanity on here?
I failed, by the way.
It's under hit points derived attributes.
Yeah, I just found I just barely failed, so I was really scared.
I was failed too.
I was actually cool as a cucumber.
Does it matter if I crit failed?
So crit fail, you're going to take 4 points, and then Agent Ty, you said you barely failed.
Barely, yeah.
So just do a 1d4.
Okay. 3.
So go ahead and just subtract that from your current sanity. So that's basically your the sense of helplessness facing what you soon realized was a bomb. Now, on top of that, you can do a 1d2 to see if you get any of those points back, because you successfully alerted the authorities to the bomb.
I got a 2.
Okay, so you can
Nice.
add those back to your as a reward.
I got one.
And the only other thing, unless anyone wants to do any sort of a recap for their character, we don't have to, but I'm just, if you want to, you can. Because the one thing I want to point out is that Agent Ty, you're now in an awkward position because you've revealed your name to several people now.
If they remember it, I probably just flashed it.
Yeah, you're going to have to take that risk. And not only that, but the other agents know that you revealed it. And
Yeah.
the
I didn't
other
reveal it to them.
the other government agent people that you contacted are also aware of it. So
That's not necessarily true. I did it on.
Well,
I guess I had to in some way.
okay.
Whatever. I sacrificed myself. My
Right.
career.
right.
This is my opinion. If you showed the FBI, yeah, I think you showed.
None of them know that I'm a Delta Green agent.
No one knows you're a Delta Green agent, but
So,
they know your real identity, though.
no, so do a lot of people, but
Yeah.
they still don't know that I'm a Delta Green agent.
Yeah, I'm not saying like you're completely busted. I'm just saying there's some, that's like rule number 1 from Delta Green. You're not supposed to reveal your identity, and you did. So, other than that, I think we can call it. I'm just curious, did anyone stick around the town to see what happened next?
Like, look for
I
a big
didn't.
flash in the sky.
I got as far away from that town as possible.
Okay.
Once it was out of our hands, it was not a Delta Green matter, actually.
Right.
So
So just so everyone knows,
I keep waiting for you, Jeff, to say, except for the big UFO that you all missed. That was right.
Right. That device is called I don't know exactly if I'm going to pronounce this right, but I'm going to attempt it. Fusen Bakudan. And basically what that means, it's Japanese for fire balloon. It is a real device. The Japanese used this in World War II. They actually launched them from Japan. They filled
drifted
them
on the currents.
Yep,
I
with-
had thought
it was
that I
hydrogen.
did something of that.
Yeah.
If you go to Wikipedia, you'll find an article about them. I thought it was really interesting. They launched about 3,000 of these, and they predicted that 900 would reach the coast of California. I believe 300 have been found. Only 6 people actually died from an explosion. All the other ones that basically like this, they all just collapsed and just fell into a field, and they're probably still out there. There's a whole lot of them that have just never been recovered.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was
Well,
good.
I
This was fun.
actually heard stuff about that from this.
Yeah.
From my history
once we
teacher,
started
right?
realizing what it was, that's what it seemed like, that it was something like that.
Yep.
Not necessarily atomic, but it was enough TNT and thermite to make a terrible explosion.
Yep.
Well, anyways.
Yeah.
Our players. Go ahead, Corey.
That was really good. Thank you there, Jeff.
It was great.
Cool.
Our players included Corey Heisted, Bill Mize, and myself, with Jeff Wilkins as the Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production. In order to create a richer listener experience, we provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We love to hear from you. If you'd like to help us out, you can visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month will help us a lot. You'll find links to everything I mentioned in the description below. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming group, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.